Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'd just like to give you a few pearls of wisdom. This next essay that I've written, I know some of them are kind of long, but if you listen to them, you might learn something. The name of this essay is called, What Are We Doing, America? What If? What if? As you know, I am Winston Anderson, alias the Anointed Disciple, coming to you with true knowledge straight from the Bible for your survival in the last days and time. Sent here to preach the word of my rhyme, because it's time for preparing the way for the Savior. He already saved me. I'm just returning the favor, bringing mad flavor from the only one who can change your behavior. All right? Now, the name of this essay is called, What Are We Doing, America? What If? What are we doing, America? Where are we going as a country? What is this phenomenon we find ourselves in, and what does it mean for this country? We have a nation that is fixated on a president and ex-president who was accused of seditious conspiracy to overturn a democratic, free, and fair election he claims was stolen from him, who used fraud to enhance his supposed great business acumen, which is now seriously in jeopardy. Oh yeah, he thinks it's okay to grab your teenage daughter by the punani. Oops, sorry. Let's just say by the coochie. Ooh, no, can't say that. Okay, let's say grab her by the cookie. How about that? He also wants to begin to establish concentration camps for illegal aliens. He even lobbied for federal troops to shoot and kill Black Lives Matter protesters. He wants to send all the illegal aliens back across the border. Just deport them all. Deplorables, he calls them. Sounds like he wants to be the next Hitler to me. A dictator for life? He may even end up in jail, and he won't mind. He is almost daring the judge to send him to jail. That's because he wants to be like his hero, Hitler, who was jailed before he became chancellor. Quote, in 1919, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, the DAP, and the precursor of the Nazi Party, and in 1921 was appointed leader of the Nazi Party. In 1923, he attempted to seize governmental power in a failed coup in Munich. That remind you anything? He attempted to seize governmental power in a failed coup in Munich and was sentenced to 5 years in prison, serving just over a year of his sentence. After that, he was released. The Nazi Party took over. The conservative elites voted him to be the person who's going to get rid of liberalism, and the rest is history. Beware of the conservative elites. Trump, a criminally accused co-conspirator, feloniously indicted for sedition against the United States and the Constitution he was sworn to preserve, protect, and defend, but not support, according to the Supreme Court. He actually tried to overthrow the government and sent an army of his supporters to storm the Capitol and disrupt the peaceful transfer of power with a violent insurrection, a coup d'etat attempt, if you will. They actually wanted to hang his own vice president, Mike Pence, for not capitulating to his fake electors to certify Trump as president. I mean, do you really want an authoritarian as a dictator for life to assume the office of the presidency? Some say yes. I don't get it. He has admitted that he will be a dictator on day one, and don't you ever believe for one moment that he will stop there. If he is reelected, he will never ever leave the office. He is campaigning on lies and falsehoods and has promised to weaponize the Justice Department and go after his enemies. Also, he promised retribution on all of the judges and lawyers and that are responsible for convicting him of his high crimes and misdemeanors. Also, all of the people in the press who wrote anything negative about him. That means he'll come after me for writing this. He will try to remain a dictator until he is deposed or until the American electorate wakes up from their slumber and realize that he has tricked, duped, hoodwinked, and bamboozled and tricked them, or until some mentally challenged, deranged conspiracy theorist who thinks he is being a true loyalist to the Constitution decides to exercise his Second Amendment rights and elects to water the old tree of liberty with the blood of a tyrant patriotically and put him out of his misery. I'm not advocating for that. Okay. Either way, I would like to posit a theory by rewriting history, if I may. First, let's deal with facts. Members of the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate convened in a joint session of Congress on Friday, January 6, 2017, to count and certify the votes of the Electoral College for the next President of the United States. The joint session is the final step in counting and validating the Electoral College votes in a presidential election, paving the way for the peaceful transition of power to take place on January 20th, 2017, during the 58th presidential inauguration. Donald J. Trump, an American politician and media personality and businessman, was elected the 45th President of the United States of America from 2017 to 2021. He was entrusted to run the country as the fairly elected President of these United States of America as every other president before him. But he did not. He decided that Congress, the judicial system, the Supreme Court, and the Justice Department all worked for him and were all at his control, and fired anyone he thought was not loyal to him instead of the country and the Constitution. Now, I would like to postulate my theory, if I may. What if, at the end of President Barack Obama's term in office, he decided that he did not want Donald Trump to become the president, and since Hillary Clinton did not seal the deal and win the Electoral College vote, he would remain in office. Let's just suppose that President Obama sent fake electors to the Capitol to try to change the Electoral College vote to Clinton instead of Trump. Also, what if Obama led a rally of Black Lives Matter, Antifa, abortion rights groups, marriage equality groups, and other groups to protest at the Capitol? A peaceful protest, with President Obama being commander-in-chief of the military and the armed forces. What if he allowed the BLM, Antifa, and other protesters to arrive at the Capitol and did nothing? The police and the National Guard should have been there to defend the Capitol, to make sure that the votes were certified and counted. Yet Obama does absolutely nothing. My question to you is, do you think the BLM, Antifa, and abortion rights protesters would have been able to storm the Capitol like the Trump protesters? Do you think that they would have been able to make it inside the building and to desecrate the halls of justice as the Trump insurrectionists did? Do you really think that they would have let black people get away with any of that and make it all the things that the Trump's radical Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, Groyper's Army, Boogaloo Boys, Nazi white supremacists, American Identity Movement, QAnon, Rise Above Movement, Last Sons of Liberty, Three Percenters, Texas Freedom Force, Skinheads, an extreme right-wing Christian identity movement, and others to get away with doing all of the things the Trump protesters did. Please tell me, do you really think so? Let's see. First of all, every person involved, if they were black, would be charged with trespassing from the time they crossed the police barricades outside, and also face assault charges for using bear spray and fighting the police with flagpoles and shields and tasers and all that other kind of stuff to get into the building. Then they all would be charged with breaking and entering and destruction of government property as accessories to the crime, even if they weren't the ones that broke the windows. Once somebody breaks window to breaking and enter and they open the door and let other people in, everyone who crossed the threshold of that door should be charged with breaking and entering. That's the way the law works, supposedly. All right. So next, they would be charged with theft of property for stealing the computer, attempted murder for trying to hang Mike Pence, and finally, the get-all be-all, obstruction of governmental administration. So let's review. Each and every single black person that was involved in the attack would be charged with trespassing, felonious assault with the deadly weapons, breaking and entering, destruction of public property, burglary, robbery, attempted murder, and obstruction of governmental administration and sedition. That's 9 charges. If they were black, each and every person, every single person would be charged with all 9 counts if they were black. Why is it taking so long to prosecute some of the white offenders who Trump calls hostages and patriots? Wait a minute. He called them hostages and patriots and promised to get them out of prison. Isn't that, by definition of the law, giving comfort to the enemy? I don't know. Could it be that the powers that be do not want some of them to be prosecuted and jailed? Who is making those decisions? The Supreme Court. As a matter of fact, do you think black people would even get a chance to do half of what the white protesters got away with? Or do you think that they would still be cleaning up the blood that was spilled on the Capitol grounds and burying all of the dead bodies and imprisoning any and all black protesters who participated in the peaceful protest? Ask yourself, what could possibly be the difference? Do you really think that black people would be able to get away with all of the things the Trump insurrectionists got away with? And how long do you think it would have taken them to charge Obama with obstructing the procedures of the vote? Do you think Obama would be in jail already? Why is it taking so long to put Trump in jail? Tell me, because I really want to know. What do you think? I'm just asking. Because I really think I have the answer, but I want to hear it from you. What do you think? Think it's got anything to do with blackness? They say racism is no longer a part of the American culture, and this is a post-racial time in America. Some people say that America was never a racist country, and that's coming from black Republicans. I digress. Some may not agree because when slavery ended and it became illegal for us to be a slave owner and unpopular to be in the Ku Klux Klan and all of the other white power hate groups, these people did not disappear. They just changed the slave patrols into the police force. Then they all joined the police force and traded in their whips for billy clubs. Nothing changed but their tactics. Once they imprison you, they can once again make you a slave. They just changed the name from slave to convict. The most deceitful practice is to jail us, sometimes even if we are innocent, then use our labor force for free labor. Once again, unbelievable. This is the deception of those who invest in the modern prison system, where humans are the stock in trade, who are legally or illegally detained, convicted on trumped up charges, pun intended, warehoused until their shelf life is reached, the CR date or conditional release date. Then the parole board acts as the Caesars. Thumbs up, you get parole. Or thumbs down, back to work, slave. Then they restock their shelves with new products. 3 hots in a cot. Work them, snack them, rack them, put them to bed. That's their military industrial prison complex in a nutshell. Republican lawmakers, the Supreme Court, and a parade of wealthy donors and shady businessmen, both foreign and domestic, as well as all of the far-right political action committees and conservative elites. Remember, the conservative elites were the ones who put Hitler in power. Remember that. The white hate groups, and also all of the minions and sycophants in brown shirts. Oh, I mean brown nosers. And the totally duped Trump voters are all trying to make excuses and bend the knee and bend the rules, use all kinds of verbal gymnastics, flips and twists and turns, and do all kinds of flip-flops and linguistic contortions to serve a narrative that favors only one man, the Trumpty-Christ. That's what I call him. How can such a devilish man convince voters to vote against their own best interests and choose to elect such a demonic person who has done so many diabolical things to ascend to the highest office of the free world once again, to destabilize the entire global ecosystem? Remember, I told you before, if you earn less than $300,000 a year, the ultra MAGA Republicans will not pass any meaningful legislation or pass any bill or law that will help you in any way. As a matter of fact, I'll say it again, a different way. Every bill that the ultra MAGA Republicans pass will negatively impact you and your family if you earn less than $250,000 to $300,000 per year, white or black. Why do you hurt your own selves and waste your time, your money, and your votes, keeping them in power? Why? For what? Just because they want to outlaw abortion and claim to be Christians doesn't mean they really are. They want to outlaw abortion because it's expedient for them. It helps them to get votes. Matthew 7:16 through 20. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them. Jesus Christ said that. Those are his words. An evil, corrupt tree cannot bring forth good fruit. How can liars, cheaters, lawbreakers be considered good men and women when all of the fruits of their labor are evil and wickedness? Don't be fooled. Have you ever heard of thorn grapes or thistle figs? I don't think so. They don't exist. Just check what Republicans do, not what they say. Don't you realize that this is a test run for the Antichrist? Blind leaders following blind guides right into the pit, blindly following their fearless leader, Trumpelstiltskin, who is the lead up to blindly accepting the mark of the beast, thoughtlessly following a man who lies, cheats, deceives, destroys, and divides, who is lascivious, a sexual deviant. He wants you to grab your daughter by her panani, by the cookie, and he already cheated on his wife with porn stars and Playboy bunnies. He cheats the tax system and the rule of law. He wants to be the next Hitler, who also riles up his base to commit violent insurrection against the country and the Constitution, and has said he will be a dictator from day one. He also wants to violate every law there is and turn this country into the Handmaid's Tale or the Stepford Wives. And this is the man you want to follow? So many sins, but who's counting? The devil knows if he can get you to blindly follow a man like this, it will be a piece of cake to get you to follow the beast, the false prophet, and the Antichrist. Today, all of you blind sheep, you Trumplets who follow Ultra MAGA, who drink the Trump Kool-Aid, who willingly accept the mark of the Don, who can so effortlessly be fooled by this charlatan, this fraud, are easily fooled because your hearts are dark. John 3:19, and this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. So when it comes time to accept the mark of the beast, you have already been preconditioned to march in lockstep like goose-stepping Nazi soldiers. Today, your Messiah is Trumpty Christ. Tomorrow, it will be the Antichrist. You will be predisposed to blindly follow your MAGA taskmasters. It's time for all sleepers to awaken. Open your eyes and see the truth. They are lying to you to get you to fall in line and take that mark, because you're easily fooled if your heart becomes dark. They not only want to control your votes, they also want to control your whole life. Get with it, man. See between the lines. Stop following the Trump Antichrist. He's only a precursor to the Antichrist. I'm not calling Donald Trump the Antichrist. Jesus Christ said there are many Antichrists going out into the world. He's just one of them. Dictators are all over the world. There are more dictators now than there has ever been in the history of the world. Think about that. So, if you call yourself a Christian and you claim to follow Christ, how are you going to explain to Jesus why you followed such a sinful man? Evil men and dictators are popping up all over the world and making preparations for the real Antichrist, who will almost fool even the very elect, even though the Bible says to only follow a man as he follows Jesus Christ. You cannot call yourself a believer and follow a deceiver. You cannot be a receiver of the Holy Ghost if MAGA is what you trust the most. Have you eyes but see not? Have you ears but hear not? Has it ever entered into your heart what God has in store for you? Not if the devil is in control of the space between your temples. That's a crime. Sitting on the throne where only the Spirit of the living God should reside. So, who sits on that throne in the space between your temples? Your body is supposed to be a temple of the Most High. That's why either it's clean or it's dirty. Either you're monogamous or you're flirty, but you're flirting with disaster. and end is coming faster, and you have no idea of the second death you will die, or the lake of fire where you'll fry, extra crispy or rotisserie style. But why? It's time to stop being children of the night instead of being children of the light. It's time to get your life right. Jesus is coming like a thief in the night. You better put on the whole armor of Christ and get ready to fight. Matthew 13:15 says, "For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have shut closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand in their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them." If you want to be healed, if you want to be saved, you must first open your eyes and see the real truth. Stop ignoring everything that you have been taught since your youth. If a person is a liar, he is a cheater. If he is a cheater, he's a thief. If he's a thief, he's a criminal. And every criminal eventually goes to jail. My father taught me that, and it is still true today. So, who are you going to trust? Trump Christ or your lying eyes? If President Obama did half of the things Trump got away with, he would have been imprisoned a long time ago, and you know it. So stop lying to yourself. Face the truth. Now, this. Washington Post. Supreme Court justices raised concerns Tuesday about the Justice Department's use of an obstruction statute to charge those involved in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. The case could have bearing on the election interference prosecution of former President Donald Trump. Oh boy, here we go again. The law in question criminalizes efforts to obstruct, influence, or impede an official proceeding, which he did. Convictions can result in prison sentences up to 20 years. Woo! The law and statute in question is this: 18 U.S. Code Section 1512, tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant who, c, whoever corruptly, 1, alters, destroys, mutilates, or conceals a record, document, or other object, or attempts to do so with the intent to impair the object's integrity or availability for the use in an official proceeding, or 2, otherwise obstructs, influences, or impedes any official proceeding or attempts to do so, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. Close quote. Now, the Supreme Court, which has a 6-3 conservative majority, has in the past been skeptical of prosecution when they assert broad applications of criminal provisions. While there are about 1,350 January 6 defendants, Trump calls them hostages and patriots. In total, only 350 have been charged with obstructing an official proceeding. They all should be charged with that statute. The average prison sentence for those who were charged only with felony obstruction has been 26 months. Let me see, 12, 24. That's 2 years and 2 months. The thing is, it's not less than 20 years. I mean, not more than 20 years. They should have got more than that. Why are they so lenient? Now, the Supreme Court's conservative justices are trying to say that the law doesn't quite say exactly what the law says, to free them all. What? Now, I know they must be bugging. They can't do that, can they? Okay. They are concentrating on the wording of the law, just like they did with the other law that the Supreme Court supremely messed up, whether Trump could be on the ballot or not after inciting the January 6th insurrection. They decided that the law doesn't apply only to Trump because, quote, he was not an officer of the United States, close quotes, even though he literally held the office of the presidency. A bit of a gerrymandered rule, isn't it? Designed to benefit only Trumpy Christ? Unbelievable. I don't get it. Okay, so now they're saying because 18 U.S. Code Section 1512, Section C1 mentions documents, that it only concerns documents and totally ignore where it states or otherwise obstructs, influences, or impedes any official proceeding. Otherwise means just that, meaning the key word here is or. The key word is or, which separates the two statements from each other, meaning the second statement has nothing to do with and is an addition to the preceding statute. Or the Supreme Court has lost total control of their senses. I almost want to grab them by their collars and do what Captain Kirk did to Mr. Spock when he became Ebo and started crying, which is anathema to Vulcans. And he says, Spock, are you out of your Vulcan mind? Get a hold of your senses, man. Pow, pow. I have to slap some sense into you. That's exactly what those justices need. Someone to slap some damn sense into them. I'm not advocating violence, okay? That's just a euphemism. The Supreme Court has literally lost its collective minds. They are trying to tailor the laws to accommodate Trump and his allies. This is why he stacked the deck in the courts with his conservative proxies to bail him out of every crime he knows he had committed. That's why he wanted to pardon himself proactively. The powers that be are all on board and want Trump back in the White House to do their bidding, to continue the tax cuts for the rich, to continue to tailor the laws to benefit themselves, and to repeal any and all laws that hinders their progress, especially environmental protections that encumber their bottom line. They want Trumpy Christ to repeal any law that protects the poor from the greedy land sharks who are on a feeding frenzy right now with their out-of-control inflation. Drill, baby, drill. Profits over progress. Speaking of that out-of-control inflation, it's an artificial inflation, meaning they inflated the prices because of COVID. COVID is over. The process of getting back down to business is back in force. Our economy is booming. Stock market is booming. We're hitting record highs, but they're not lowering the prices. Because just like Trump told the people at the in Congress, is don't do the thing at the border. Don't fix the border. We need that border crisis so just to be expedient for my campaign for presidency. He told all the people who support him, all the people who have all the big corporations that control the prices of the stuff that we buy every day, that they should be lowering the prices now that the stock market is back to normal, but they're not. Trump told them, no, keep the prices high. Make Biden's economy look bad. Even though they're still trying to do that, the economy is still booming. Employment is down to the lowest it's ever been. We're down to 3%. It was up to 10% under Trump. When he got in office, it was at 4%. Obama got it down to 4%, which he took credit for. How can you take credit for something that you haven't passed a single bill to make it do that? That's what I want to know. Tell me exactly which bill did Trump fix to make the economy get better and make the which bill did he pass that made the unemployment go down to 4%? Tell me which bill. Name the bill. Because if you can't name the bill, you're lying. You're lying to yourself, and you're lying to the American public. So all you people in Congress who think that you know what that think we don't know, I know, and I'm telling everybody, it's all inflated. It's imaginary inflation. They're just keeping the prices high to keep the economy bad to get Trump in office. I've heard Republicans say when Obama was in office, let's make the economy fail. We want him to fail. Telling all the big corporations, don't invest your money. Sit on that money. Don't invest it. If you invest it, the economy is going to boom and it's going to make Obama look good. We want him to look bad. So don't invest any money, just sit on it. And they did. And Obama still made it better. Let me get back to my essay because I'm losing my mind over here. Why are you people falling for their lies? Wake up. They're lying to you, altering the laws just to appease the Trumpty-Christ, that man of sin who is making a way for the real Antichrist. If you think Trump is a self-serving, cheating, lascivious, greedy, grifting, lying scoundrel, a psychotic, would-be mob boss who wants to be the next Hitler, just wait until the real Antichrist arrives on the scene. You see, the slyest cheaters don't want to be exposed until the right time. And all of the authoritarian dictators all over the world are there to usher in the advent of the beast, the false prophet, and the true Antichrist, who will make Trump look like a schoolyard bully. If you are so easily fooled, tricked, and hoodwinked, and bamboozled by Trumpty-Christ, just wait till the real Antichrist shows up. He's going to make all of you slaves to the system and make you take the mark of the beast, or you will not be able, you'll be left out of the financial world and won't be able to buy, sell, trade, or lease unless you possess the mark of the beast. Trust me when I say this. Think it's a game. I'm not playing. You go ahead and do you, son. Have fun with that. What are we doing, America? When will you open your collective eyes and see what the real truth is? Don't be deceived by the Antichrist, the false prophet, and the beast. Don't be fooled into taking the mark of the beast. As time is winding down and we don't have much time left, wake up from your slumber and open your spiritual eyes, especially all of you so-called evangelicals who blindly follow Trump instead of Christ. Listen, choose the Messiah or the liar. Pick one and live or die with your choice. But remember, when you make that choice, you have to take whatever comes with it. So only God can condemn it or forgive it, so you just live it. Jude 24 and 25, the King James Version. Now unto him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God, our Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion and power, both now and forever. Amen. I am Tucker Carlson. I'm Winston Anderson, the anointed disciple, and I approve this message. This is AD signing off. God bless you all. Good night. And God bless the United States of America. Remember, choose your Messiah. If Jesus Christ is your Messiah, choose him. If the Trumpty Christ is your Messiah, choose him. But you can only choose one. You can only choose one. So choose wisely and live or die with your choice. Thank you all. God bless you and good night. Love you.